So on the one hand, we have our largest trading partner, as we've been discussing, attacking us, putting tariffs on us. On the other hand, we have the opportunity to diversify trade. Guess what one of the requirements is to diversify trade to the European Union? Guess what one of the requirements is to diversify trade to the United Kingdom? Guess what one of the requirements will be to diversify trade to emerging Asia? Is to have a form of price on carbon. So we are able to think one step ahead. We're able to go out and see the world. We have an enormous opportunity here in Canada. The United Kingdom has an enormous opportunity. France has an enormous opportunity. Europe has an enormous opportunity to leapfrog over American companies. They're trying to turn back the clock and look inwards. We're going to take that opportunity. We're going to take that opportunity. It's going to create jobs, and it's going to create new markets for our country. We can fully realize what Canada is, which is an energy superpower in both clean and conventional energy, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We are going to get stronger, while those who take trade actions get weaker. As Prime Minister Starmer mentioned in our session, Canada and the United Kingdom share a history, we share values, we share a sovereign. And those shared values between Canada and the United Kingdom, they are demonstrated through the leadership of Prime Minister Starmer, President Macron, and Canada's participation in the coalition of the willing for Ukraine. Advancing the support for Ukraine that's very necessary. You may have seen that I have invited President Zelensky to the G7. I look forward to hosting him in Canada in June.
We understand that you have now placed your assets in a blind trust, so you don't know what's happening to them going forward, but you knew what they were going into that blind trust. So what are they?
Look, Stephanie, I follow the rules of the Ethics Commissioner. I'm following them well in advance of any of the requirements. As you know, because I know you know this, you know that these requirements come into effect in months. We're talking days after I became Prime Minister. So I'm complying with the rules of the Ethics Commissioner, going through the processes and all these things that are necessary.
The rules say that those assets should be publicly disclosed within 120 days, which means you'll campaign in a coming federal election, most likely within the next 120 days, and are serving as Prime Minister now, with Canadians not being aware of what potential conflicts of interest you sought to avoid.
What possible conflict would you have, Stephanie? Stephanie, I'm complying with the rules. I'm complying with the rules in advance. Point final.
There's no possible conflict of interest in your assets. It's very difficult to believe.
Look inside yourself, Rosemary. I mean, you start from a prior of conflict and ill will. I have served in the private sector. I have stood up for Canada. I have left my roles in the private sector at a time of crisis for our country. I'm complying with all the rules. The line of questioning is trying to invent new rules. I'm complying with the rules that Parliament has laid out and the responsibilities of the Ethics Commissioner. And I will continue to comply with those rules. What we're looking for with respect to the United States is to have a more comprehensive discussion and negotiation of our overall commercial and security relationship. And when the United States is ready to have that conversation, we're more than ready to sit down. We can stand up for ourselves. As Canada is strong, we can stand up for ourselves. We've called out those comments. They're disrespectful, they're not helpful, and they need to stop before. But we're Canada. We don't need other people to come to our aid. Come on.